you underestimate me. I've heard all about you. But then it's like, if you look at how the scene is, like, look who's backed in the corner. Look who has nothing behind him and is completely free to go wherever he needs to go. Like how they kept the keys there, but like he's backed in the corner. Like he knows that he's screwed up. Welcome back to episode 13 of Heavenly Delusion. I hope you have enjoyed this series thus far. I really enjoyed making it. And if you have not watched the other 12 episodes or seen the other episodes on the channel, highly recommend you going back and watching my review of those, or just watching the series yourself, and then you can just binge watch all 13 of them as you please. So with that being said, I want to jump right on into this last video, and we'll wrap this up, and then you can get along with your day, do whatever you have planned. So because maybe you wake up in the morning just like he does, like all tired and like distraught and like trying to figure out like what things are going on, because it's interesting how I don't understand a lot of this anime. Like there's so many different questions that I don't think we'll ever have answered, and you probably noticed me talk about that a lot because every single episode just gives me a different like perspective. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, like what's gonna go on. I don't know, like what could happen, like where could things go? I don't know. Let's figure it out. And then it's just like, nope, you're not gonna figure it out today. We'll just give you more questions and more questions and more questions. And that's exactly what The Promised Neverland did. Nothing ever actually ended up following through, which was kind of a little bit of a struggle. And if any of you know, like it says Tokyo Junior and Junior C. I don't know which one is which. Like is C mean child? And then just normal Junior means like, or Tokyo Junior means that that's actually Tokyo's. This one's probably Tokyo's kids, and this one's probably like the alien looking thing. I don't know. But like him going into the nursery that one time and seeing that other alien creature, I have a feeling that one of these babies is the alien creature, whereas one is actually his flesh and blood. But then would it actually be flesh and blood, or is it another alien? I don't know. It's very interesting to see. So it's like we're going to return one of the babies to Tokyo, but like the doctor's like, I don't know which one we need to return. Do we return the alien? Do we return the real child? I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure it out by either reading the manga or watching something else out. And if you notice that too, as soon as I said reading the manga, we end up coming to this page because he ends up like making some food, because it's like, it's not as if we agreed exactly what day she'd be back. If I finally found the guy I've been searching for 5 years, which is, that's crazy long time to be searching for somebody, but it's also like, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that she chose. It's like, we'd probably spend the whole night talking. I guess we'd have a few drinks. We'd probably end up sleeping all the next day, but not coming back for another night is a little, oops, the bottom burnt. And there's probably some sort of like, he was about to say is a little odd, because it's like the bottom burnt. So it's just like, he knows that something needs to happen. He needs to go save her. So he ends up walking in, and it's just like, hey, you stop there. It's just like, you can't go in without authorization. Came here 2 nights ago. One night he would have got, 2 nights a little bit strange. So I've come to get her. And then it's just like, he told us not to let anyone in. They must have relinked their passion, rekindled their passion, which is messed up how the dude's like trying to defend the other guy. This is why people a lot of the times are very blind to certain things. Like if you ever studied anything about like history or like World War II or things like that, there's a lot of people that wanted to go against like Hitler and the demands of like what he was doing. But most of the people didn't end up doing that because they were afraid of like the repercussions that would happen to themselves. And there's this theory in psychology as well too, where like most people won't help a random person on the street or on this stage if they don't look like them. So it's like, if you look like you're a successful businessman and you're laying on the ground, somebody is more likely to come up and talk to you. But if like you aren't a successful businessman and you just look like a homeless person, people aren't going to try to help you, because people help the people that they themselves look like. So I have a feeling that this dude's also messed up in the head as well too, if he's trying to defend Robin, because I have a feeling that he knows what's going on and why not to let anybody else in. But it's like, she'll come back eventually, just wait a bit. And he's like, hey, we said no. He's like, screw you. He tries to radio signal them in. He ends up going, and then he's like, all right, yeah, something's off. I need to run. I need to hurry up and figure this whole thing out. And that's where like this guy, it's like, you aren't authorized to be here, so-and-so, but it's a good thing that he knows how to fight. He takes out Homeboy. He ends up taking out the other dude as well too. Like right here, he ends up taking out the first dude that has a knife. He ends up swatting down the other guy. There's all this other food there. It's just like, it's a mess. It's a disgusting place. And it's just like, obviously, yes, it's a apocalyptic place, but it's just like, she's still on the bed, just there, tied up, which is not great. She's having through all these different memories running through her mind of like what's happening, what's going on, like the face. And I touched on this in the last video. It's like, why did Robin's face look like that? The expression he had when he saw me. What did it? Like, she's trying to figure out what it meant, because that expression is not an expression of like joy. That's an expression of like, oh, why are you here? Like, this isn't right. Like, this isn't supposed to be happening. So like, it's as if he knows something that we don't know. I don't know what it is, maybe you know what it is if you've read the manga, but I'm like, I have no idea what it is or what's going on. And that's why she's like, I don't want to think about it anymore, because she just wanted to have like this happy reunion with Robin. And then as soon as she's just like, I want to follow orders. That's all she wanted to do. I just want to follow orders like Maru. And then she's just like, save me. As soon as she says, save me, boom, the hero comes in. He ends up saving her. And that's when he's just like, okay, like something's up. Robin, he knows. He drops it. He's like, I'm going to run. He notices that his other people aren't there, isn't able to do it. She's trying to get him to stop. He tries to open this door, which I was like, what is behind this door? I don't know how this door would have helped him or what would have gone on in that door. Maybe you know. I know what's in the door at like the end of the episode, but other than that, I'm like, I don't know how that would have helped him. So like, you're alone. You underestimate me. I've heard all about you. But then it's like, if you look at how this scene is, like, look who's backed in the corner. Look who has nothing behind him and is completely free to go wherever he needs to go. Like how they kept the keys there, but like, he's backed in the corner. Like, he knows that he's screwed up. And he's not showing any expression. He's not showing any emotion. He's not showing any sort of like resentment or anger or anything like that. So it's just like, he's trying to get under his skin as well too. And this is what people do to you as well. Like, if you can keep your emotions in check and not let this person push your buttons, because he's trying to get him all riled up through his words, through his whatever it is, trying to like push his buttons, like I said. So it's like, I heard all about you. Aren't you the guy Hikaru's guarding? And it's just like, did Hikaru also take care of you down there? Which is fucked, dude. That's so fucked that he says that in that way, because that's an innuendo in the way that he says that. It's like, take care of you down there. It's like, no, that's not what they've done at all. And it's just like, what the hell are you looking at? He's trying to figure out like what's going on. He was trying to get like a rise out of him, trying to be like, yeah, she's not human, but like, she is human. That's why he tries to sneak back around, and it's just like, nope, you ain't leaving that corner that you're in. Like, you put yourself in that corner. You're staying there regardless of how many times that you try to escape. And it's like, don't mess with me, you damn kid. But it's like, he's not a kid. One punch knocks out the dude, and then he just takes his slow little time just walking back up. And he's like, screw all of you, and just starts beating him basically to death. At least that was the plan of what he ended up doing. And we'll come back to that here in a second, because apparently this is what animes like to do. Every anime likes to do this. Like, right in the middle of the battle, it's like, all right, we're going to cut somewhere else just to fuck with you so that you have to keep watching the series. And it's just like, bro, let me just get to the thing that I want to get to right now. But we'll keep it in a linear progression. So it's just like, they end up seeing him where he's at. We have to try and find out like what's going on, what's happening. But is something more important we have to tell you. Like, the baby is yours and Kona's, which is pretty neat. We'll all think together about how to raise the child, and it's just like, well, why? Like, why do we have to all do this together? Like, it's my child, like, it's my baby, like, and that's why he's kind of, or she, I still think that this was a dude this whole time. She's like, the thing that you took out of me, like, this is a baby, but like the baby that he saw before, she saw beforehand was not what a baby looked like. So it's like they have different definitions of what babies are, and the aliens, I guess, can turn in and morph into like human-looking children. I don't know. Maybe we're all hybrid children. Maybe we're all aliens from a different planet. Maybe we're all just reptilians and animals. I don't know. Maybe you can figure that out for yourself, but that's something to think about. So it's like, that's what all the hard work was for, to like bring this child into the world. And then the psycho granny lady ends up coming. So it's like, she's like, I'm never going to quit until I win. It's like, give me the baby. It's just like, no, I'm not giving you the fucking baby. Like, this is my child. Like, why would any mother give up their child willingly? Nobody ever would. And then she tells the robot to attack, and it's just like, nope, screw that. Like, there's an outside beyond here. And that's where he's like, from that dream that she had a while ago with the alien of like, what are you good at? And remembers that, like, what are you good at? Run away, is what the other, like, her other lover was telling her to do, was to run away. And that's where it's just like, what's happening? And that's how she's able to like stop what's going on. It's like, stay away, nobody come near me. And that dream of like her body being taken over by all that red stuff as well too, finally starts to manifest in the real world, because all worlds and all dreams do become a reality at a certain point. I don't know what ends up happening to the grandma when she ends up grabbing on. Is she going to go with her, or is she not going to go with her? These other kids, they kind of get lost in the forest, yada, yada, yada. That doesn't really, like, that's just a small little sub point of being able to be like, yeah, I'll protect you regardless of what's happening because I love you type of thing, which is fantastic, which is exactly what we get to see like in this scene, and why Miro ends up like stopping to beat the living crap out of the dude, which is right. I guess it's after the fact yet, because like they end up going back over here, and this is what love does. It's just like, stop, that's enough, stop it, please. Like, don't kill Robin. It's just like, he's like, what what do you mean, like, don't kill him? He was literally doing the thing that no man is ever supposed to do to a woman without their consent. And he's just like, are you serious? And it's just like, okay, like, I'll stop for you. And that's why he just walks away like, all right, fine. Like, that's okay. We'll just walk away. And then it pans over to this scene where it's just like, it was all a lie. And this is what I was talking about in the last episode, and why sometimes, like, your beliefs have to be broken to realize that whatever it is that you truly do want has been a lie. Because there's this quote that I like where it's just like, we question all the beliefs that we truly believe. We question all the beliefs that we truly believe. We question all the beliefs that we question everything that we believe except the beliefs that we truly believe. Those we'd never decide to question. I was trying to rephrase it in a different way, but that's the way that I like to do it. So it's like everything I believed in was a lie. Talked about that in the last episode where, like, the kids, like, they thought that the inside, that where they were at with the sky, that was their reality, when in actuality it wasn't. So it's just like, I don't even know who I really am anymore. I've had the same, like, ideas myself as well too. Like, when I started doing sales and realized, like, oh, I love sales, I love making these videos still as well too. Like, I love this, like, who am I really? Like, what are the beliefs? Like, what do I actually know to be true? Is any of this true? Like, is it all just made up in my own imagination? Because in all likelihood, it's probably just all of a dream that we're all just experiencing together as a collective agreement. That's something for you to determine. And why I said maybe we're all just aliens. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. That's something for you to decide. I'm not here to change your beliefs. I'm just here to get you to think. So if you took me apart and put me back together again, it's just like, I don't even know who I really am anymore, which is really messed up. It's just like, I probably just disappear. And it's like, you would never disappear and turn into my sister instead. But it's just like, you always have been your sister. You always have been your brother. You've always been everybody that you've ever wanted to be. So it's like, it feels really dumb to me 3 or 4 times, but let me say it again. And this is the thing, dude. Like, you always have to ask over and over and over again. Like, I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel right now. I'll ask you to leave a comment. I'll ask you to share this video with your friends, family, community members, anybody that you think would find value in this type of series or something along those lines, or that you know that has watched or on forums or whatever it may be. Because, like, you just have to ask and ask and ask, and then eventually something does click and something magical will happen. So it's like, if you don't like it, just throw a rock into the river and I'll stop. I'm kind of into girls, which I am too as well. If I'd have to meet the real Hikaru, we would have been friends, but I don't think I'd have fallen for him in that way. And since you really like Kiriko, she must be a really great person. Yeah, that's one thing I'm certain of, but I don't know if I'd have fallen for Kiriko either. And then she ends up throwing, like, the rock into the river, and he's just like, hey, you're the one I'm in love with, not Hikaru or Kiro. It's you. Because, like, you combine these two different personalities, but they become something new, something that they weren't beforehand. Something that Carl Jung, psychologist, ends up talking about, where he's just like, you can combine these different personalities, because if you think about it in this way as well too, and I've touched on this beforehand, but I'll touch on it again. So, like, you have this version of yourself, you have this version of yourself, you have this version of yourself, you have this version of yourself that maybe is like this. You have this version of yourself that is like this, nice and strong. You have this version of yourself that can be like all like sad and like, or meditative type of thing. Like, you can have that version of yourself. You can have the version of yourself that maybe is like crying all the time or whatever it may be. Like, you have every version of yourself. And the main goal is for you to integrate all of these versions of yourself into one version of you, which is you. Like, that's what you're trying to be. And sometimes you have to go through events like this that can be traumatic, that can be a little bit like unimportant, like, I wouldn't say unimportant, but that can be a little bit like hard on you as a person. So it's just like, you are the one that gets to decide who you are. You get to decide your identity. Nobody gets to decide that for you. It's your choice. It's your life. It's your decision. And you can let go of those past experiences and be like, hey, you know what? Screw this guy. Like, he's not who I thought he was, or whatever it may be. You let it go into the wind. And that's why, like, you can even notice this, the symbolism right here is like the wind blows to like let go of all of that past stuff that you no longer need to ever see again. And that's where he's just like, I'll kill you if I ever see this person again. And that's where he ends up escaping. You get to see like what's behind this door, which I don't know what this is. If you have any insights or knowledge into what like this whole creature was and what was happening back here, like, just let me know, which is also messed up. The dude's just wrong in the head for that. And then that thing starts to move, and they're like, screw that, we're going to lock this up and keep this hidden away. So it's like, what the hell was he doing here? Nobody will know. I will never know. Maybe you know. But yeah, this anime has been good. I enjoyed it. My final thoughts on this was like, There's some dark stuff. There's some exciting stuff. There's a lot of things that go on that I guess I wasn't originally like anticipating in the first place. Still a good anime nonetheless. There's some highs, there's some lows, there's some different abstract ideas and concepts that we didn't originally have in the first place. But like there is a dream or a story about like being able to let go and realizing that like everything's connected in some way, shape, or form, whatever that form may be. Like they might be connected from like the heaven to the earth. It might be like one reality versus another reality, but like all things are connected. Everybody's working in some other way. Because that was the last thing that I wanted to touch on in this. So like after we go through the credits and they're driving away and all this other stuff, it pans over to the kids on a bus or on a boat, and it comes into this other city where it's like full of light. And I'm like, okay, so maybe these two worlds aren't connected, or maybe this is where like all the humans decided to like come together. I don't know. And that's why I'm just like, there's so many different questions, and I'd love to see more about this. I don't know if we'll ever get more about this, but it's just like, why is there so much more life here when like all the other cities that we've visited so far throughout the 13 episodes did not have nearly this amount of power? Even the episode when they were like going under the garage with the girl, and they had to take out the hypnotizing like man-eater stuff. Like there's power there, but there's lots of generators. So like imagine the amount of power and generators that they have here. So it's like, will they ever actually be able to find heaven? Like, will they ever be able to find these kids? Will they ever be able to inject the thing into that kid? Or is it going to be just a journey that never leads anywhere? I don't know. I have no idea. But there's also probably some symbolism as well, too, like with this photo being in the water and not the girl. So maybe it is him. But then again, the girl wasn't in the photo. So there's so many different questions that I'd love to have answers to. But nonetheless, if you want to watch an anime, or if you have already watched this anime, let me know your thoughts. I'd like to have this more as a dialogue, a conversation with you down below, like I enjoyed having on a video that I did a little while ago around like Deku and Tanjiro. So yeah, let's have this conversation. Let's have a discussion down below. If you like these types of videos or this type of like structure with me, like doing like a 13 episode series or however long series and like reviewing each and every single episode, let me know and I can do this again for another series. And with that being said, I hope you appreciate this type of content. I know I appreciate you listening. You guys make this possible by like subscribing, sharing, watching these videos, leaving comments. Like it's awesome to be able to see how much the channel has grown over the time that we've been doing this together. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for everything that we have ever done together. And I just want to let you know that like life is a journey. So like just be constantly focused on what you can do today, because you don't know what's going to end up happening later down the road. But like bluebirds also symbolize like growth and renewal and like the opportunity for change to happen, which is exactly what's happening for the kids now that they've left heaven and they're in this different world that they weren't in originally. And now like they're starting something new, just as much as like these two are starting something new, because they are no longer the same person that they once were. They've evolved, they've changed, they've grown, they've experienced, they've had their hardships, they've had their lows, they've had their highs, they've had everything that they needed to have. And now they're in a completely different spot than they were beforehand. So I know you can do the exact same thing. I know you're doing the exact same thing right now. You don't have to necessarily go through traumatic events, but like try something different. Go try down a different path. Try to do things a little bit different than you've done beforehand. And you might be able to see some magic start to happen. At least it's happened for me. And if it's happened for me, I know it'll happen for you. So that being said, I will let you guys get on with your day and appreciate you making it to the end. So thank you.